Welcome to Cisco Tech Beat, the podcast that explores the people and stories behind what inspires the newest innovation. I'm your host, AB, and I'm thrilled to welcome our very own Chief Marketing Officer, SVP, CP, Carrie Palin, to the show. Carrie, welcome to Tech Beat.
AB, it's a delight to be here with you, and so excited to be here with you at Cisco Live as well, which is a big part of what my team does every year, is bring this experience to 20,000 plus customers and partners and Cisconians, and it's an amazing moment. It's a seminal moment every year for us.
Absolutely. And the energy, we just started. The energy is already, you can feel it buzzing. So it's just going to keep picking up over the next couple of days.
That's right.
Love that. So I want to talk about your experience and your journey as a leader, because you had incredible leadership experiences even before joining Cisco. So tell me a little bit about that, and how did that kind of shape, how you lead now and what your role is at Cisco?
Yeah. So I actually started my career at Dell. Competing with Cisco, which is a really great breeding ground for learning. What Dell was really great at was operating, because they didn't really start with innovation of product. They were a company that just operated incredibly well. So I learned, ruthless go-to-market capabilities. We were eyeball deep in the P&L. So I'm a very revenue-driven marketer. And I always think about today, many years later, how we can contribute to growth of a company through marketing practices, not just deliver experiences, but actually deliver growth to the company. And so whether we do that through brand or through, demand gen or digital engagement, all those things. But so Dell taught me that. And then I went to the Valley and was at several high growth software as a service companies, which is a total departure from Fortune 50, right? And I had done IBM as well. So I went to Box as their first CMO. Right after they went public, working for a 31-year-old founder CEO, which was an experience and a half. And I will forever be grateful to Aaron Levy for the opportunity, because it's where I learned to become a CMO in a really fast-paced environment. And then went to a place called SendGrid, and I was there 5 weeks, and Twilio announced their intent to acquire us.
Oh, wow.
And that was software as a service. Marketing owned all revenue.
Right.
It was to software developers. And then I went to Splunk. And at Splunk, we went through an entire rebrand while I was there, which was really fun and exciting. And Splunk was growing 70% year over year at the time.
Right.
It was a crazy moment in 2019 and 2020, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And then Cisco hired me in 2021, and I'm literally hitting 5 years this month with Cisco.
Oh, that's amazing.
So,
what a journey.
Right. Yeah. And one that I never thought was my journey. I never planned to be a CMO. It was not on my list of things I want to check off in life.
Right.
I just wanted to be really good at what I did and contribute mightily to what organization I was in. And then the opportunities just came.
I love that. And it's a good message for anybody out there who is not sure what they're going to do or end up as, because you never really know where your journey is going to take you. So.
You don't. And I think that's really important. It's actually resilience and curiosity and keeping an open mind and not being afraid to try new things is literally sort of the era that we're in with AI. It's like those qualities transcend what we're doing now as well. So it's actually, it worked out okay.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
It
worked out great. And you saved the best for last. Like, you're at Cisco. I mean, it's like Vanessa Williams is about to come in here and start singing, "Save the best for last." Let's go.
I mean, right? Like when Cisco called, I had to kind of pinch myself, because I thought, this is an iconic brand.
Yeah.
40 years in the making, or almost 40 years when they called, and customers love Cisco. There is a level of trust and respect that is so different from most other companies globally, especially tech companies.
Yeah, for sure.
And in an era of time where everything's happening so fast with technology, there's a real lack of trust in the ether, to be frank.
Right.
Geopolitically, technologically, all the things. And yet I keep hearing over and over from customers and brand new customers saying, and we continue to choose Cisco because we trust Cisco. And to be the steward of that brand, I don't take lightly, right? And so when I came here, I thought, we've got an opportunity to modernize this brand, but let's not screw it up. I mean, in the back of my head, I was like, this is a huge responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And yet the most epic opportunity of my career.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to touch on something that you mentioned a while ago, or just a short while ago, AI, because now we're sort of you've heard of that, right?
So bad.
We're in the generative AI era. So I'm curious, as a CMO, how do you balance remaining that humanistic element while still, navigating this really fast-paced technology that's changing so much of what we're doing?
Yeah, so it's interesting because there are two aspects of this, right? One is, does my team use it, and what do we use it for? And how does it make us better, faster, more capable as an organization?
Right.
And then it's how does customers then experience what we use AI for as well? And as I would argue that marketing has more touch on a customer than any other function in a company, because so much of a customer's experience is done digitally anymore. It doesn't matter what company you're at. Close to 80% on average of the journey is digital, which means marketing is in there engaging with the customer, whether it be on our properties, other properties, our content, our tools, our demos. It's marketing, right? So we are seeing the pulse and read of the customer throughout the journey.
Right.
So we have a grave responsibility as a consequence to think about how does the customer experience AI, right? And so it may help us from a capability standpoint, but if it weakens the customer experience, we think twice about that.
Sure.
But I will tell you, in most cases so far, we see it really enhancing. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
We can only afford, even as a Fortune 50 company, to translate all of our content and materials and experiences into about 6 languages globally.
Okay.
Well, there are hundreds to thousands of languages spoken, which means a good portion of the population on the globe that didn't speak those 6 languages couldn't really engage with us, or it was arduous to do translations. We now have the ability, and we're piloting, and we can't wait to take it live, where our very junior lead development reps, who oftentimes are the first human interaction with a prospective customer, are going to have a co-pilot agent ride along that is a systems engineer that has crazy deep technological expertise, and fully translated into almost every language. So if someone calls in from Hungary and our lead development rep that picks that up is actually sitting in Lisbon, Portugal,
Yeah, right.
and they speak 5 languages, but Hungarian isn't one of them, they can literally have a very technical conversation in that moment when the customer wants it in Hungarian, because they're going to have this AI agentic co-pilot with them, basically sitting in the cockpit having this conversation that is way more technical than 2-year out of undergrad lead development rep, but also can do it in Hungarian. And
that's crazy.
You talk about a customer experience that's bespoke in the time frame they need it, that helps them make decisions faster. That is where AI becomes truly amazing, because the customer has a much better experience. And by the way, this week we're introducing our new AI ad and brand campaign at Cisco Live, and almost the entire thing was done through AI with human decision making throughout because we have to decide, hey, that script doesn't sound quite right, or I don't love the accent of the narrator, or whatever.
Right.
But all those decisions were so much faster. We built this so quickly versus what we used to do in an analog way.
Yeah, right.
It's so beautiful, and it's I would argue the most stunningly beautiful creative we've ever done.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And our people are becoming dexterous in AI through it, which makes our employees more employable if they want to ever leave Cisco. I hope they don't. But you know what I mean? Like, it's actually adding value everywhere.
Absolutely. I love that. And you touched upon 2 things which are really important. Obviously, the technology itself and what it enables us to do, but the customer, having the customer in mind. And I think it's a really great point that customer experience is not just living in a customer org or here and there. It's something that we all need to be mindful of. So
1,000%, because at the end of the day, that's who makes us great.
Right.
And the stories that we tell from a brand perspective are actually our customer stories. One, their stories are really interesting. And at the end of the day, we sell technology, which is really cool, but it's equipment with red blinky lights, you know what I mean? But but what it enables people to do, the fact that close to 80% still of the world's internet traffic runs across Cisco, is secured by Cisco. You think about critical infrastructure, whether it be banks, hospitals, texting that you don't want with your girlfriend at night that you don't want your mom to see, that's being secured by Cisco. Like, I speak to college students a lot, and I'm like, hey, that text you sent last night that you maybe don't ever want your mom to see the light of day, that Cisco's text.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, right? And they're like, oh, we get what you do, right? So we are doing some really cool stuff, but to create an emotional bond that people have immediately with a consumer brand, we are telling the stories of our customers, which actually provide the services that their customers need, that they have an emotional bond with.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to talk about AI just a little bit more in terms of adoption, because I know that at least at Cisco, we have found through actual research that, people are more willing to use AI when they see leaders using AI. So how does that impact you?
It's hugely important.
Okay.
I mean, years ago, I was sitting in a room of almost all men. I won't mention what company, and they're amazing guys.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing, and then everybody on stage at this event man after man after man after man after man. And I thought to myself, is that my path? And somebody said to me, you have to see it to be it. And so that stuck with me. And then I realized that I didn't need to necessarily see a female on stage, but I had to see the qualities in leaders that I wanted to emulate. And some of them happen to be men, some are women. But the more women in the course of my career I saw on stage, the more I realized, or in those powerful positions, I thought, oh, maybe I can.
Absolutely.
Maybe I can,
Absolutely.
right? And so I believe in, especially with a new technology like AI, it's scary to a lot of people, especially if they are worried that their manager won't approve. If leadership isn't in their position of innate power because of where they sit in a company, not modeling the usage, but also the risk and reward, right? So it's not just them seeing me use it. It is them seeing me say to people who are using it, hey, you tried it, that did not work. So what? What do we learn from it?
Right.
Like not you're in trouble or you don't have a role in this organization, because there's so much fear around new technology, especially AI. Leaders have the onus and the responsibility to say, this is a safe place. Like, let's make good decisions together, but let's experiment, be curious, and try.
Sure.
And there's not a bad answer here. Nothing is fatal.
Right.
Right. And that is I think the most important thing that I've learned through this is that I have to be really visible in saying that, in supporting that, and showing that through my actions daily.
I love that. So encouraging people to not have fear. Also, that failure at times can be a good thing so that they can learn from it and really thrive.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
If you got people staying in a safe lane because they're afraid to fail, we are never going to get the most out of AI or quantum or the next thing that comes. Like,
Totally.
We have to have an environment that is, we're making good decisions, but we are also trying a lot of stuff that makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe not in a production environment.
I like that.
Yeah. And then when we see that it works, we take it into production and we go. So.
Yeah, totally makes sense. You mentioned that, you're so proud of this new creative work that's going to be revealed. And I know that marketing in general is really a blend of like creativity and, creative talent and literacy and all that stuff. So what are the core qualities or soft skills that you look for when you're building a team, like, under you or just in general?
Yeah, marketing's interesting because for the unaware of that, for people who have not actually worked in marketing, let me just say it's a bunch of very disparate disciplines. So it's not an engineering group that might be software engineers, hardware engineers, developers.
Right.
It is literally, you've got people who are great comms people. You've got people who are incredible digital beasts and they build amazing experiences online. You've got events professionals who do this, right? And make sure that it's the best event you've ever been to.
That's right.
And it takes huge curation. You have people who are doing marketing technology stacks, who are looking for the best tech out there for a customer experience and how to knit those pieces of tech together so that we have all the data at our fingertips at the right time to then serve up the next great experience for them. So, and I could go on and on. You've got product marketers. So functional expertise, table stakes.
Yeah.
There's a long way of saying that.
Yeah.
And it depends on which discipline. What I look for are some intangibles. One is, and am I allowed to say a bad word?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never found a better way to say this, but I interview for give a shit factor. I
like that.
People walk in. It's like, I learned this from the first team I built. This young lady walked in, did not have the right skills. She walks in and gives me the firmest handshake, the biggest smile. And she said, hi, I am Paige. I know I've never worked in tech. I am dying to work here for you at Dell. And I am going to work my tail off. I learn fast and I'm intellectually curious. And then she spewed off all these things from their most recent earnings call.
Oh, wow. Okay.
24 years old. And I was like, you're hired.
Yeah.
Paige's give a shit was oozing out of her pores.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I want people who are excited to be here, that care, are curious, right? They're give a shit.
Yeah.
I want people who are great teammates.
Absolutely.
You can have the smartest people on the planet, and if they don't work well with others, things go sideways. And by the way, not only Cisco or marketing, but life is a team sport.
It totally is. Absolutely.
And if you and I were talking about sports earlier, they teach so many life lessons, right? Especially team sports. This is a team sport. I want great teammates on my team. I also want people who actually are curious about learning. Like, if someone comes in and says, I know everything, probably not, or, that has this like air of arrogance, it doesn't really work well because, by the way, I've been doing this a long time. I'm learning every day. I feel humbled every day, sometimes by a student who just walked in out of undergrad who's teaching me in reverse mentoring, right? So we need curiosity, great teammates, give a shit factor, and hustle, and everything else pretty much can be taught.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that's true of every profession, from music to anything. Like, you gotta work with other people, or you're not really you can't thrive, and you're gonna fall behind.
Well, the nature of tech is, it's in marketing specifically, it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
You may know everything today, and 5 months from now, you know 40% of what you need to know. So I just want people who really believe in the mission, love their teammates, and are going to show up every day wanting to do a great work together.
So they can become a digital beast. I love
a digital beast.
That's my next role. Digital beast.
Right on.
Put that in team space.
There you go. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
My people have to be customer obsessed, because if you're constantly navel gazing and you're a great team member, but you don't understand what the customer needs, that's crucial for marketers. So I probably should have started with that, but here we are.
No, that's great.
I mean,
it ties into what we were saying before about being customer centric. I mean, the customer, really their end user experience is ultimately what's driving what we do, regardless of what our role is. Let's talk about the marketing landscape, I guess, in general, and because we're at the forefront of all these strategies and these innovations. So what's the most concrete form of proof that you can point to that basically says that our marketing, like Cisco marketing, is truly AI first?
I would say number one, what I just said moments ago, which is, are we actually creating with it? Like, not just using it to help us be more efficient. I think that's table stakes.
Right.
I think this is, are we letting AI do some uncomfortable things? Like, for creatives, saying we're going to use agents to create for us instead of being the person coming up with the concept.
Right.
That's mind-numbingly hard. That is really stretching outside comfort zone.
That's right.
So to me, that is a big proof point, right? Or, hey, we're going to bring in an agent that actually may be smarter or more skilled at the topic that we're having a chat about in the middle of the night with a Hungarian that we referenced.
That's right.
That's uncomfortable too. It's really easy to use AI when you're just typing in, hey, I need this, and it spits it out, and then you say it. It's another thing to have an agent speaking side by side that is literally not a human being.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing.
It's really, so this is I think the proof point is when we are getting wildly outside of our comfort zone within reason, like not doing stupid things, but saying the things that we defined ourselves as, can we get better at it because there's an agent actually that's really smart, that's helping us, challenging us, and then we deliver an exceptionally new customer experience as a consequence. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's hard. And the creative experience, asking our creatives to use AI for this ad campaign was really uncomfortable, but they were so willing to try.
Yeah.
And then what happened ended up being, and it wasn't perfect. We had to edit quite a lot, right?
Sure.
But the core starting point was so visually exceptional. And then we had to work on the script more, I think, and some of the nuance, but it was such a process, and it was really, really fun to learn.
Yeah, and I just think it's also a testament to how Cisco encourages employees to really embrace AI, because it's not like, hey, just use AI. We provide platforms and learning modules. So, you can really, you can go as deep as you want.
Yes. Yes. No, Cisco is an amazing place to learn. I have never found that I have been hindered to stretch myself and learn, whether it be AI or anything else. This is a company that our culture is ranked top globally for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look ahead a little bit, just sort of trying to see what the landscape's going to be in the coming years. So we talked about the pace of technological innovation and how that's disrupting everything.
Yes.
What is one trend, right? If there's more than one, that's fine too. But in the industry that you think people are not quite catching on to, maybe they're not noticing it, but you think it's going to be something that's going to be happening in the future.
This might seem antithetical, but I'm going to say it. In a world of AI where we are pushing everything to be in many ways autonomous, I believe that the trend right now that humans are craving is in person.
I would agree with you 100%.
I think we are, and I will tell you, we had, by factor of a lot, more attendees at this version of Cisco Live in Europe this past February in Amsterdam, by the thousands more. It basically met the same numbers as the U.S. show, which has always been our top show.
Which is crazy.
It's bonkers.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
And what everyone kept saying to me was they wanted to learn in person. They wanted to commune with other human beings. They loved all the soft things around Cisco Live that they felt like the care and feeding was so important. And then they were willing to go learn about the tech. There's something that I think the pandemic started, which humans kind of withdrew for a while, right? We had
absolutely.
to. And then we were like, oh, and agentic and all the things. So it's become, even I watch it with my 16-year-old son.
Yeah.
He learns so much digitally. His friends are always communicating digitally. And I'm like, hey, go meet your friends for a coffee or lunch. He's now driving and he loves it. He never did that before March when he got a driver's license.
That's right.
He's like, oh my gosh, I'm really enjoying. And it's the same thing with adults.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we don't rotate so far into tech that we lose our humanity.
Agreed.
And I think the trend for me is leverage the tech to have even better experiences. But man, nothing beats human connection.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. And you see that, I mean, as a guy who used to actually produce music professionally for a living, a lot of the fear with AI music engines, whatever, that's the same talk track, which is, listen, people are really yearning for live concerts, collaboration, jamming in the garage, like,
yes.
So I think it's a universal thing.
Hey, listen, driving my 12-year-old and her friend this weekend to something, and they asked if they could DJ in the car, and they're turning music on because they put on music they wanted to sing to. And then I've got 12-year-olds singing at the top of their lungs.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, that's a song from my youth. I'm going to sing too. Like,
there you go.
Nothing beats the in-person experience. It just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So,
since we were talking about family, and even before we started recording, we were talking about sports and stuff. Let's switch away from work. Let's just go on to life outside work. And, because I was actually saying this in my last podcast, what I love about our leaders, and really the company as a whole, but it really comes down from you and the rest of the leadership team, this idea of really incorporating well-being within your daily routine.
Yes.
So what is it that you do when you're stepping away from work and you're really trying to find that balance? Like what brings you, what are there hobbies, activities that really just kind of center you so that you can kind of regenerate that charge you need for the next week?
Yeah. So a couple of things. I'm a hugger. I'm like the uncomfortably long bear hugger.
Yeah. I'm kind of like that too.
And my kids and my husband are the same. And even my 85-pound dog uncomfortably long hugs me. So I'll tell you, like the quick recharge for me is a great hug.
Nice.
Like it doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a half side hug. I'm talking about a real hug. Like where you're like transferring energy as human beings.
Yeah.
Like I feel it. Like that's who I am.
I get that.
But outside of work, I think, my greatest joy is my family, but we're a sports family. So I spend a lot of time courtside for basketball games, volleyball games. I'm heading to the 12U Nationals with my daughter in a couple weeks, which is going to be an amazing experience. And like being that mom who's cheering her lungs out,
That's right. That's volleyball?
It's volleyball, but she also plays club basketball. So she's 6 feet tall as a 12-year-old. So we're growing in our family. We sneeze and we grow.
Yeah.
But I also do think that there's something to being centered and having calm. And the older I get, the more I value that. And so my calm is I started gardening in the pandemic.
Yes.
And I read this forever, but I didn't really understand it. Putting my hands and feet in the dirt.
Yeah.
And literally, I ripped out we live in this basic house. I ripped out all of our our flower beds and put in a garden and like managed that myself and like fresh tomatoes, fresh cucumbers, making dill pickles with my grandmother's recipe and like giving that to friends. Like that's my love language outside of hugs. And something about just centering myself with the earth, it's just, and doing it at night, like going out there and looking at the stars, like there's something that we don't have enough calm in our lives.
Yeah.
And so I think self-care, a lot of that is taking a moment to just breathe.
Sure.
And to just be and be still. We don't do that enough anymore.
No, nobody does.
Everything is so busy and so much is coming at us and it's like overload, and just taking a moment to just be.
Yeah.
And be in nature, whether you hike or you run or you like whatever, you want to garden like me, but like that to me, and it could be a hike out in the mountains, but but touching the earth,
absolutely,
getting my shoes off, like that's it.
I love that. Have you read the book Ikigai?
No.
Do you know it? Okay, so I used to live in Japan, and so a long story, we could talk after the podcast, but Ikigai is basically a Japanese word that means, for all intents and purposes, finding your purpose, like what your purpose is. And it's a very short book. You should read it because they study the blue zones as well to see what is driving these elderly populations to live. And one of the most important things was something like 95% of all these centenarians garden. And they were saying there was
Really?
something, yes, there's something about like that whole act of touching earth, being one with nature. So when you mentioned gardening, because I talk about this with my parents too, I really think there is something to that. And I think you'd love the book. It's a really short book. It's so cool just to like read about what these communities do. I'll text you the name of it, but I think you'd really enjoy it.
No, I will. And by the way, oddly, my kids are totally into it too.
Okay.
They'll walk out and be like, help me prune, and sit there and talk about this varietal of tomato versus the other. And it's a nice mental break for them too, right? For teenagers who have so much coming at them.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. Well, listen, on that note, I mean, I think that's a great way to bring the conversation to a close. Carrie, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. I had such a good time.
Me too.
We could talk for another hour, but we'll wrap for now, but I'm sure we'll do it again.
AB, you're awesome. Thank you for hosting me, and thank you for having marketing and Cisco marketing being represented on this podcast. Really thrilled about what the team's doing, and thank you for giving us a platform to talk about that too.
Of course, anytime. And I know we'll do it again in the future, so no worries there.
Right on. Thank you.
You got it.